Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today is February 17th, 2022, and this is the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update with your host Justin Wise, brought to you by KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully everybody is doing absolutely fantastic today on this glorious day where I am still moderately, not too badly, not too severely, snowed in and staring at the market, staring at the charts. Apologies for the late stream today. Did a little bit of reorganizing in the office. When the markets are dipping, it's often a good time to just focus on other things that are important. And this is what we're going to be talking about today for a little bit before we switch over the charts. Obviously, nobody needs to know this because you already know it. You're watching the channel. You're grabbing your heads. I decided to not go with the hands on the head. I decided to not go with the hands on the head screaming into the ether thumbnail because I thought that would just be a little too much. So we've got a down day in the markets, everything down, pretty much double digits as far as the altcoins go. Bitcoin itself down about 7% today on the daily. I saw last night in the subreddits and in the discords, people talking about, oh, it's dipping 1%. It's just 1%, people freaking out. But often these things do lead to more tumultuous and capitulous downsides, which we have seen over the course of pretty much the entire day, except for the last, I'd say about hour or so, right, where I've actually gotten long myself, and we'll be looking at those positions here in just a second. So, yeah, so when the market is down, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? If you're on, and this is true because sometimes you're shorting and the market goes up. Sometimes you're long and the market goes down. Either way, when it comes to the realm of trading and investing, the concept that we're really talking about here is drawdown, right? Being in drawdown, being in a position of loss, unrealized loss perhaps, or maybe even actualized loss because your stop loss got hit, or you're suffering from a bad trade. And this is a very important concept in trading. As I say in Pathways to Profit, and I say it many, many times on the show and in my own personal life, we rarely get things right. And I think the pursuit of most beginner traders, or the way that most beginner traders visualize trading or investing or being an active trader, is a pursuit of timing the markets consistently, precisely, and accurately. And that's really not the case. You are going to be wrong generally, especially as a beginner, more often than you're right. And this is why we always apply, the realm that I learned from poker playing into trading, which is chip management, which is stack management or bankroll management. And in trading, we call it portfolio management or risk management, right? Managing your risk, understanding what side of the trade you're on, understanding how much max drawdown you can occur, and knowing how your strategy performs over time. Whether your strategy is more discretionary or whether it's completely systematic, utilizing indicators, as we often focus on this channel, utilizing indicator-based trading strategies with a tight risk management system. When I say tight, I don't mean tight as in tight stop losses. Often our stop losses can be quite wide because cryptocurrency is very volatile. So you have to adapt your stop losses and your take profits to whatever market you happen to be trading. If you're trading low volatility bonds, for example, you want to use lower or tighter stop losses, in the word of the tighter stop losses. But when I say tight, I mean consistent, right? Consistent risk management, consistent application of your strategy is the road to success, whatever your strategy may be, whether it's, again, price action, whether it's reversal, or whether it's indicator-based. Now, the nice thing about indicator-based strategies and why we focus on them so heavily is, one, they're easy to automate. So when you find a winning strategy, you simply automate it. And this is one reason why I know our members and myself in particular have been relatively okay with this dip. Not only have we, while we were having a losing positional trade on the daily, of course, one of our automated strategies stepped in, caught the short about 25% of the way through the dip, and we are still in that position on the way to the downside. So, and across almost all the major alts as well. In fact, many of them already hitting their take profits. So when you build an indicator-based strategy, it's easy to automate. And when you know its success record, you can just have that thing run constantly in the background while you, based on your skill, can manage the other portion of your account. I like to think of it as an 80-20 split generally. When you're a beginner trader, I like to try to completely systematize 80% of the trading up to 100% of the trading until the trader is more comfortable to step in and do something more discretionary or less discretionary, but just actively trading. All right. So you usually want to start out with about 20% of your account once you start feeling comfortable with your strategy, when you've back tested how you're going to trade your discretionary or indicator-based strategy, one that you're going to be actively trading and not automating. And then once you actually see that is making you profit, you can begin increasing the risk allocation to that particular strategy, right? You always want to constantly monitor your strategies, see how well they're performing, have an understanding of how well they are likely to perform, and allocate risk accordingly. All right. So Moral of the story is, when you're on the wrong side of the trade, it's not a good time to freak out. It is a time to stick to the rules. When you entered the trade, you should have clearly defined risk levels. What is your take profit? What is your stop loss? And you should follow those rules accordingly. When you allow your emotions to get in the way, when you attempt to start timing the markets based on something that is not a strategy, based on something that you haven't backtested, you're going to run into a world of hurt, and you're going to end up forfeiting and sacrificing all the progress that you made with all of your backtesting, with all of your development, with all of your strategy implementation, with potentially all of your automation. And once you start dipping into your bankroll, those emotions are just going to compound and they're going to get greater. You're going to start feeling more fear. You're going to start feeling more anxiety. And being in a position where you feel you have to earn profits on trades is not a good place to be. You're then trading from a situation of desperation. And as anybody who understands confidence, or as anybody who understands anything, you know that acting from a position of desperation is acting from a position of weakness, and thus gives you a less likely, you have a lowered probability to achieve your desired outcome. All right. If you're acting from a position of strength, it infuses everything about you. It influences your decision making. It influences your charisma. It influences your confidence, your ability to execute on your strategy. And when you're acting from a position of desperation and weakness, again, that chips away at your confidence. It chips away at your resolve, and it makes you make emotional and illogical decisions. So, again, cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. The market's not going anywhere. We have dips, we have rises, and the point is just to survive. All right. I've been around in cryptocurrency for going on a little bit over 5 years now. And what I can tell you is that one of the key strategies that has allowed me to continue succeeding in this market is being able to survive in down markets, right? There are times when the market is generally going up, right? We just ended like an 18-month bull cycle, which was absolutely fantastic, with a 50% drop in there. And, things were very easy, right? You could be very, very easy with your positions, very easy with your stop losses, very easy with your take profits. But in down markets, it's not so easy. All right. In down markets, it's not so easy, especially if you have large allocations to altcoins, which are dropping very rapidly, especially if you're attempting to time the market with strategies that worked well in bull markets or strongly trending markets. And then you get in trouble in the choppy zones and all of these kind of things. But the key point is to survive. All right. If you survive, if you've allocated your portfolio accordingly, you understand that it's going to drop, but your portfolio is going to be volatile, because cryptocurrency is volatile. But, and I don't really care what anybody says about this, because this is one of the truest things that I can possibly say. Cryptocurrency has absolutely changed my life. It's allowed me to live a life of financial freedom. It's allowed me to provide for my family. It's allowed me to live the life that I want, that I've always wanted. And it's allowed me to do that with a lot less active trading than I used to have to do, because I hold my wealth in Bitcoin. And it sucks sometimes watching that wealth drop 50 to 80%. I've watched it happen 3 times, but it's very nice to survive and then see that wealth multiply multiple times over. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. I think that for a lot of individuals out there who don't really have opportunities, the world is shifting into, and has been shifting into, a place that is increasingly harder and harder for not only young individuals, but also individuals who are my age, in their mid-30s, maybe in their mid-40s. Who don't have, who don't know how to code, who don't have a large resume, who don't have a large background, who want to be independent and live a life on their own. And it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of emotional discipline. It's a lot of soul searching. It's a lot of combating your demons. But this is absolutely the space, and I absolutely know and believe that there is life-changing money in this space. That there will continue to be life-changing money in this space. And I don't want this to sound like an advertisement, or like I'm selling you something, because I don't own cryptocurrency. I'm not selling a cryptocurrency. But the point of the matter is, this is the place to be. And if you can just survive, and make some smart decisions, then you'll be okay. All right. The music isn't over. Cryptocurrency is not going anywhere. So we're still early. So it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. So with that being said, let's move over to the charts. Let's do some day trading. Let's break down today's market and look at where the market is likely to go. Let's break down kind of the analysis of the dump. We'll do a dump analysis. We'll do a bear market liquidation support group, and then we'll talk about some stuff that we're working on in the background here. So first off, before we get into that, the sponsor of today's show is, as always, the viewer, you. So before we begin, huge shout out to all the premium members in the premium trading group who are trading alongside me, who have made the decision to learn to trade, who have made the decision to try to take a huge step in what they're doing. So this show would not be possible without you. The community would not be possible without you. So thank you very much, guys, for continuing to trade, for continuing to have faith in the community, in the group, in our method, in our strategies, and this one's for you. And for all of you guys watching at home, whether you're premium members or not, thank you so much for your support of the stream, of the show every single day. It's I don't know, it's incredibly humbling. And I'm just happy to be here, and I hope that I can provide good quality content to you guys every single day and continuing to move forward. So if you guys would, highly appreciate it. We are streaming now live to YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Trovo, Facebook Live, and Twitter. So wherever you happen to be, if you're on Facebook Live, like the group. I think it's called Meta Live now. I don't really care. But like the post, like the stream, like the group. You can join the Facebook group as well. If you're on YouTube, that's our biggest support. In fact, if you're watching on any other platform, just click over and watch on YouTube. But give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Or give us a follow or subscription over on Twitch, DLive, or Trovo. That always helps out. So thank you guys so much. If you're on Twitter, share and retweet the post. That does really help. We really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's slide right along into the charts, break down today's price action. Okay. All right. Yeah, got a little bit of a different stream setup, guys. Let me just scroll that down right there. Okay. A little bit of a different stream setup. I did reorganize a lot of my stuff here today. So I have completely reorganized my desk and where it is. I just ordered a new monitor today. So we're going to see how that plays out. I've been looking at it for a while. I've been wanting to upgrade for a while. I'm still kind of using the old dinosaur method of, I've got 3 monitors, plus I've got my laptop set over there to my other monitor. I've got my other computer over there that's running my Bitcoin full node, where I still run my Armory wallet, which is still, again, I'm just a freaking dinosaur. But now I've got a lot more real estate and a lot more desk room. It's, I've been hearing a lot about, how these, so anyways, I'll tell you what I got. I got a Samsung G9 Odyssey 49-inch curved monitor, 250 hertz, all that good stuff, 1550 by something. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen them and they're supposed to increase productivity, and it'd be nice to have all of my stuff in one screen in one real estate area. So we'll see how that works. Anybody who's got anybody who has any thoughts or comments. I mean, I read to death all the comments. Everything you could possibly learn or read about these monitors. I watched a couple hours of YouTube videos, so I'm an expert now. But that'll be cool. So I hope you guys like that. Maybe I'll do a video or an unboxing or something like that. So anyways, yeah, so we are doing I do have the webcam set up for this angle. So it's not as good as the DSLR. But, again, the content's what's important. Maybe not necessarily the visual, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys like it. That's okay. All right. So anyways, let's do what we normally do. Recap on the weekly time frame. Okay. Now, this... I mean, listen, I don't want to say that I was right, but I was also right. So we'll see. Obviously, it takes time for these things to play out. But just to recap, we've got 2 scenarios here. Here's the Bitcoin weekly chart. If you guys have not been following along, if you're relatively new to what we're doing here, the pattern that we've currently formed, so kind of our long-term frame analysis here, what we're really expecting in the long run here. And just keep in mind, just like weather forecasting, predicting price in the short term is not too difficult if you know what you're doing. But projecting far out it's guesswork at best, right? But we can develop strategies and plans around what price is likely to do, what the market is likely to do. We can factor in certain sentiment factors. We can factor in certain macroeconomic factors. But again, I talked about this yesterday, like attempting to be a multidisciplinarian and understanding like how all of the intricacies of the world economy like fit together and trying to be an expert in one of those things when it's just impossible to stay on top of cryptocurrency from day-to-day basis nowadays with all of with everything that's going on. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay. Let me make a quick adjustment here to my screen. Almost. Yerp. There we go. That's much better. Let's slide that over there and then just give this a little bit of a flippy dippy, as my daughter says. A little flippy dippy. Okay, that's going to have to work. All right, so weekly time frame, what we've noticed obviously is that Bitcoin, after it reaches a new cycle high or all-time high, it will correct in a certain fashion. It will correct down to the 55 weekly moving average. It will bounce. It will correct down to the 100 weekly moving average. It will bounce, and then it will ultimately correct down to the 200 weekly moving average, where we will find actually the macro bottom for that cycle, right? And this has been the case all the way back since 2015. So this is 7 years that this has happened. I'm not expecting the cycle to be any different, and that's a long way down. All right, so what have we seen already? Bitcoin has corrected to the 55 75, we bounced, we corrected down to the 100, we've bounced. Personally, 50-50 that this bounce can continue. 50-50 that this bounce can move down. And this is exactly why I talked about it not only in my market analysis for the premium members, but also on the stream as early as last week. This was my market analysis beginning Monday, right? Even though the market was bullish and I was still taking lower time frame trades to the upside, but I talked about the fact that this is a good area to establish or reestablish your weekly hedges, right? If you exited on bottom feeder signals, if you exited on the time transformation signals down here, we've had a nice bounce, right? Price has appreciated. We had a good 20% trade from the bottom back up to this moving average resistance of the 21, the 8, and the 13. And again, this is just a likely area for price to turn around. Everybody, even I got excited and say, hey, maybe price can continue to go up here. But we can see now that establishing that hedge, putting on those short positions in that area was overall a good maneuver. If price does ultimately correct down here, again, another 50%, we're looking at a 50% correction. If Bitcoin's history repeats itself and we do trade down to about $20,000, that is the back the truck up zone. That's where we really want to get long on cryptocurrency, on Bitcoin in general. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't take our pot shots here. There are a lot of altcoins that are looking down and bottomed out. But listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The max opportunity for investing is when there's blood in the streets. Okay. And there certainly has been a lot of blood in the streets. Bitcoin has put in another 50% correction. We've had a 43 to 47% correction since November when we reached what could be this current cycle high. And things can always be different and things can always play out. But being prepared for this maneuver ahead of time before it happens, before you get absolutely giga-wrecked by a 50% correction, is going to be very important. Okay, so what do we need to see here if Bitcoin's price is going to continue upwards? I would like to see a higher low. I'd like to see definitely a higher low where the low is actually above this 100 weekly moving average. And then we need to, of course, break here. So if we see a on the other hand, if we see a higher low and then a green weekly bar, all right, so what we have right here, this weekly candle is relatively important, okay? We have continued to close inside of this weekly candle, and as long as that happens, that means that the buying pressure was more powerful, right? The bears have not been able to really push price down as much. We can see the bulls have tried to push price up a little bit. They weren't able to make as high of a high this week as they were last week, of course. We ran right up to about that 21 weekly exponential moving average. Just weren't able to breach it. But as long as we stay inside that bar, overall the strength is to the bears. So what I don't want to see is I do not want to see a break of this 100 weekly moving average at this point in time. A little correction here is actually generally not what we want to see if price is just going to continue right up. Generally, Bitcoin doesn't waste any time. Now, this weekly candle isn't closed. We can turn around and reverse, but we had this gravestone doji right here as we were coming up to weekly resistance, and now we're continuing to trade down, where we're actually trading below the low of the previous weekly candle, and that's generally bearish, guys. I mean, it is bearish. Price is moving down. So the saving grace here that I'd like to see is if price can remain, again, above that 50% zone, and we do not close or have a low below this 100 weekly moving average, that would be good. I would like to see that, okay? All right, so still, I think overall, weekly hedges are not a bad idea. Long-term hedges, hedging your spot position or your overall investment portfolio in BTC, if that's in your active strategy. Understand that if price does go up, if you're only hedging the amount of BTC that you have, you will not lose dollar value, but you will lose Bitcoin if you close at a loss, okay? And you have to kind of ask yourself, like, is this good or is this bad? Keep in mind that in the worst case scenario, where we do correct down to the 200 weekly moving average, we're talking about a bit of time, guys. We're talking about 2022 likely not being very good for Bitcoin. Now, we did have, all right, so, and it's happened a couple of different ways, but essentially, after we corrected from the 2015 high, and we actually come down here to the 200, once we reach it, we have about 273 days of accumulation before a massive run up. And keep in mind that accumulation is important. When we fell down in 2018, we had about 133 days, right? So about half of that time. And then this is kind of the outlier. This is kind of like that this is the March meltdown in 2020, where we just continued that bull cycle. But I think all of these are directly correlated, one could say. This run up, see how long this run up is? Or excuse me, see how long this accumulation level is, and it leads to a massive run up. This accumulation level leads to this run up, and this accumulation level led to this run up, okay? And again, we had to have a lengthy period of accumulation here. This was, let's see here. about 56 days, so about 2 months, or excuse me, yeah, 2 months. And then we push back up. So generally, there needs to be accumulation before there can be a sustained rally. And the length of the accumulation is directly proportional to how long the rally can continue. Now, I want to thank Alex for kind of pointing that out and bringing that to my attention. So we're not seeing any sustained period of accumulation here. Now, is it possible that we accumulate here before a continuation of the rally? Absolutely. But that would just not be what history has shown us, right? History has shown us that typically so the only time we really did look at this, the only time we did consolidate at the 100 weekly moving average was back at the end of the bull market, or the midst of the bear market in 2017, 2018, when we collapsed down to 3K. So actually, history would tell us that that would be bearish if we consolidated here. It would be a sign of redistribution, not reaccumulation. Right? So this is reaccumulation. Market moves up. This would tend to be distribution, where the market distributes, moves coins from old hands into new hands, and then the market dips, and the new hands sell those coins back to the old hands, right, or the long-term hands. So diamond hands versus paper hands here. Okay. All right. So that's the weekly outlook. Again, we have to put. We're still 50. I still have to be 50-50 on this one because projecting out is very difficult. Anything can happen, right? Elon Musk can make an announcement that completely changes things, but that doesn't fly in the face of reaccumulation and redistribution. Now, what I do not want to see here, what I would hate to see here, is I would hate to see a time transformation cross under, right? So a time transformation cross under would occur on the time transformation indicator. What's going on here? There we go. Let's get a little rectangle here. Okay, so as we can see, let's actually move this right here. We did have a time transformation cross up, right? And that occurred on this bar right here, typically a bullish sign. The last time we got one of those was right here, and that did lead to the end of the bull market, about a 20% appreciation. But the significant ones that occur in oversold territory, right? This is a continuation signal. But the buy-in signals that occur at low areas of the market, this led to a nice 80% run-up. Let's go back and look at the last one before that. The last one occurred back down here in 2018, and that led to a nice 192% run up. Yeah, so these signals are typically very powerful. Then they're more powerful the more you extrapolate them out. So what I would hate to see here is I would hate for this movement to fail, and that would fail if we get a time transformation cross under, in my opinion, and more specifically, if that cross under happens under the 0 line. So we've talked about this in our Fisher Transform tutorial video for the premium members, how the Fisher Transform works, how price distribution accrues to a bell curve, or conforms, excuse me, to a bell curve, and ways to use the Fisher Transform and Fisher Transform divergence in your own personal trading. So topping below 0 is typically a bearish sign, almost always a bearish sign, and would be continuation to the downside. Now, I don't want to be all doom and gloom and, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to 0. It's not. It's going to 20K most likely. But we just got to understand these things and realize these things. So weekly hedges here, not a bad idea. And yeah, that's the weekly chart. All right, so let's go to the daily. We do got a couple possibilities here. Now, so we're going to just use our, right now we're going to be using a trading strategy utilizing four indicators if you include Quadriga here. We're going to be using the parallax, time transformation, and our 26 period Donchian baseline. So this is the strategy that we teach in our Pathways to Profit course, and how to create a technical indicator based strategy. Now, we had this, so just recapping here, we broke above the 26 period Donchian here on the 4th of February, leading to a small run up. And again, this is what I like to see. I talked about this yesterday. I do like to see this large green candle, especially following a little bit of a kind of upward slanting accumulation here. We can see a lot of buying, and then again, that buying just breaks through. And usually when you see a lot of volume come into the market, it is indicative of a trend. All right. So we see volume come in at the beginning and the end of trends. So we had this large red candle here on large red volume after we really hadn't seen that. So you can see here, look, in the downtrend, we have this large red candle, which really initiates the selling and continuates it. And then we have the next largest red volume spike right here on this candle that kind of wicked all the way down to 42,000 and opened up at 53. So big drop there. But you can see that following that, the market has difficulty continuing to move down. We do move down, but it's very slow, right? And we move down in this descending fashion and then break to the upside for a little bit. This was a fake out trade. We actually got faked out here because we just had all of our indicators fire here. So we went long here and ended up closing out at a loss. That's okay. That's going to happen when you're trying to follow the trend. You're going to have losses that you try to keep as small as you can, because the whole point is that you can catch large maneuvers like this that make up for your losses. That you catch large maneuvers like this that make up for your losses. Okay, and you just try not to get chopped up on the ones that fake you out. That's how trend following trading works. So we've got a couple options here. As I talked about yesterday, we are kind of in that last bastion area for a reversal baseline bounce. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we actually can be looking for a long here. Price has pulled back to the daily baseline. So this is just an alternative strategy that I talk about a lot, utilizing the baseline for entries right here. We have a good opportunity. Reversal baseline bounces all throughout here. When price comes back up to the baseline, you use that opportunity to re-enter in the direction that the trend has been, right? So trend has been to the downside here. As we can see, we're on the underside of the baseline. Price pulls back up to that baseline. We take the short. Price continues on downwards. This would have been a nice reversal baseline bounce had only price stayed on the right side of the baseline, but it didn't. But price dips back below and we get an opportunity for a reversal baseline short here. We get an opportunity for a reversal baseline short here. And we actually get one right here too as well. Okay. And actually you have a good one here, right? So right here, you have an opportunity for profit right here, and then price breaks up and now you know you're in a bullish trend, right? So we had this nice little pullback. We got the crossover right here. We actually got long, had a losing trade, but we're going to go ahead. This is just my personal strategy. I am going to attempt to take the long from here. If price does close on the other side of the baseline, I'll be looking to get short on the daily time frame, because the daily time frame is the time frame that I trade the most actively on. I guess when I'm not trading the 5-minute chart. So, okay, that's basically, that's pretty much it. We actually have a rejection of that. We now have coiling for time transformation, which is unfortunate, but that's just how Bitcoin's price can be sometimes. We got the continuation signal here, and it was a losing signal. So we now have another opportunity for a reversal baseline bounce, long trade right here, and assuming price is right around here, around daily close, we are kind of looking at 43,118, 45,166, and 47,208 for our take profits on that. And if we do hit that 47,216, that would be pretty good, because that would be, higher highs, so higher lows and higher highs. All right, that would be good to see. We'll see. And if we do close on the other side of that baseline, we'll essentially be looking for daily shorts at that point in time as per the strategy. Okay. All right, so that's the daily outlook. We are going to be looking for the daily reversal baseline bounce long around the daily close today, so in just a few hours. Looking at the Meso timeframes, Super Duper Dema strategy has done very well, actually. Let's see here. So we did have, let's just go through. We had a fantastic long trade right here. We had a small loss long trade right here. So we actually closed the position here. And we got us, and it got us into that short right here on this candle. So this has been a good short trade. So the 3-hour Super Duper Dema strategy, having our backs even when we weren't awake and looking at the chart. So those alerts did fire. And overall, we've had a good trade with the Super Duper Dema strategy. So 3-hour time frame is bearish. We're below the 200 daily exponential moving average. We're below the 200 double exponential moving average on the 3-hour time frame, and below the super trend. So we're going to need right now a break of about 43,800 to flip bullish again, and we will be actually a little bit more bullish if we can cross back above that 200 DEMA around $42,000. So right now it's at let's look at the data window. It is at 41,989. So we do need to get back above that, yeah. All right, so 3-hour time frame short. It's called the shorts in just about all the altcoins, so most of those have already hit profit. Now let's go down to the 5-minute time frame and do some active trading. All right, so let's just go back and we'll talk about, we'll see how the chart played out exactly at pretty much as I told you guys it would. We had so here's the trade right here, okay, on the stream. Boom, there we go. Short trade right there that I got the members into. Or that I think we did this on stream. I don't know if I posted this one or not. And then here we have the long trade. Okay, so price broke. We took the long trade back up. We can see that we were trading in this upper distribution range. Price broke down to this previous consolidation range. All right, we're trying to avoid this range right here. This is not where we want to return to. And you can see that there was a lot of accumulation here. Look at the volume profile here. You can see that there was a lot of buying here. So we want to maintain this level. We want price to stay above this level so that we can consider this our actual buy-in spot. And so that we could see higher prices, which, you know, everybody likes to be on the right side of the market. But for me and for most of the viewers, of course, you guys are going to be mostly long biased, right? Most traders are long biased. And why wouldn't you be? Bitcoin generally just goes up. Stocks only go up, right? But all right, so let's just kind of take this play by play. All right, so live on stream yesterday, we did take this trade. We took the upside trade. Didn't catch the reversal trade, but you can see the price just went right back up. We've talked about these. We've talked about how to trade ranges, deviations from extremes, reversion to the mean. So essentially, anytime price trades above or below these ranges, so when we see a range established, we're essentially going to be taking the other side of the trade anytime price travels outside of that average range. Sometimes you're not going to be able to catch it because your stop loss will have to be too tight. This is a good example, right? Stop loss hunt where price goes significantly above previous highs. It goes significantly above the range before reverting back down. This is another good example right here. But for the most part, you had a lot of fantastic entries. Over here was a really good range to trade. We had a lot of killer trades here. Entry here, 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 here. And then the range broke right here, right? We actually have the SOS right here, and then the actual breakout, right? Up to this distribution range, and then we broke out very quickly to this range. Price pulled back down to the previous range, and then broke up, deviation from the range extreme right here, and then it began its collapse. All right, you still had a couple trades here, right? You can see this. If we drag this box over to conform to the range right there. You had entries here, you had entries here, and you had entries here, and opportunities for profit. But then price broke back down to this area of the range. Again, you can see that deviation, range deviation right there. That entry opportunity right there. Went back up to test that point of control where there had been a lot of distribution. And then unfortunately, price just began to completely break down. You did have that golden cross under right here, the 50 crossing underneath the 200 exponential moving average, which I do use on the lower time frames. And it's been pretty rough ever since then. Yeah, price has just absolutely collapsed. Now, let's go back a little bit. And I want to fit more, hold on a second. So I want to fit more data on my screen. So to do that, let's go to the 3-hour chart. This will be a little helpful. Okay. All right, so here on the, actually, let's go over to the 3-hour chart here. This will kind of be a little bit easier to see maybe. No? Guess I didn't draw it there. All right, so we'll just draw it here. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the possible scenarios here on the 3-hour chart. Now we've got kind of price more zoomed out. Let me get, there we go. Now you guys can actually see everything. So between these three ranges right here, we've got that area, which we hope does not now serve as resistance, of course, on the 3-hour time frame. You guys can see that, this large spike on the volume profile. Now, here is that breakout candle that we saw on the daily. All right, here's that breakout candle that we saw on the daily. And unfortunately, that means we have a low volume node from here to here. All right, so although I want price to go up, I really do want price to go up. I always want price to go up. I love something funky with my microphone. Let's see here. Is it better now? Is it cutting in and out? Is it cutting in and out? Seems fine to me, he says. Okay. Well, I will do this. I'll tell you what. I will lower the gate. Oh, the gate's only at 8. Mr. Ether, I love you, but you've been overruled. Okay, cool. All right, we'll continue on. Okay, so although I want price to go up, let's talk about a realistic strategy here for this train track. Remember, we talk about this all the time. High volume nodes or train stations, price consolidates in them. Sometimes that consolidation is very volatile. Right here, we've had a lot of volatility in Bitcoin over the last few days, actually over the last week or so. And sometimes that consolidation is less volatile, right? We can see a little bit less volatility here and a lot of volatility here out of this range. All right, you know, we'll talk about it. There is an inverted head and shoulders. You guys know I'm not a chart patterns guy, but if we can close, as you guys can see, if we can close above this high volume node, there is a gap here. All right, there is a gap here. All right, you can see the price has wicked through these areas, so we want to see that nice convincing. If we assume, so we'll just talk about that, if that does end up playing out, let's draw a trend line from the neckline to the bottom. That's how you do it. And that is going to point us up, back up to the all-time high, 58-ish, 58,000. All right, now again, not a chart patterns guy. Okay, but let's talk about a realistic strategy for trading this short on the Meso time frame. Now, keep in mind, remember, the 3-hour super duper demon strategy already has a short. So for the premium members and for those who have access to the SD DEMA strategy, you guys don't really need to do anything. But for everybody else, let's talk about how you can play this. Now, typically, I don't like to trade the actual breakdowns of the volume profile zones. What I do like to do is trade the pullbacks. All right. So if price pulls back here to around 41,400, maybe around 41,200 to 41,400, what we could do is we can then take the short. We can set our stop loss a little bit above the point of control right here to manage risk. And then we can look to take price down here to the next level of volume support around 38,000. Now that is a banger trade. It's going to be about a 6% trade. And yes, that means another 6% decline in Bitcoin's price. That's the trade setup. That's how you guys can play that. If price breaks your stop loss, don't just FOMO into the long. Again, wait for that pullback to the point of control and then get long, right? Looking for that breakout. Look to take profits up around here, and then you can trade the breakout as well. Same strategy. Price breaks, you wait for the pullback, and then get long, all right? Okay. Yeah, I see it. I got to promote a moderator on Facebook. And I don't know exactly how to do that right now. There's only 2 people watching on Facebook too. So let me... mute. And okay, cool. Now I can see how I can do it. See if I ban them from the page. There we go. Thank you, brother. All right, let's take some time and so just to be I guess transparent here. I guess it doesn't scroll up that far. I am long. I've been long the whole time we were talking in this range right here. So looking for price to come up here and close this gap right here, looking for this breakout of about 41,200, and then looking for that trade up to about 41,400, right? So that's another way we can do it too on that 3-hour time frame. You can see it a little bit more granularly here on the 5-minute chart. Okay, we can look for price to actually go up to maybe 41,700, maybe 41,800, and then take that bounce. Again, you got to switch between the time frames to see what's going on. But yeah. So we can see here that this gap is more significant. Okay, so this is kind of what we're watching for, that kind of breakdown trade right there. So we can try and time that on the 5-minute a little bit more granularly. I'm going to go for the long, shoot up here, and then I'll try that short. And again, there's that point of control. You can manage risk right above it. What we can probably see here, though, we could see a movement up to the 200 exponential moving average as well, just around 42,300. Maybe reject from there, or maybe we just break down right. Maybe we just break down right here. You guys can play the favorite game, which is watch Justin lose money on the stream. Okay. Oh wow, there's a lot of them. All right, guys, we are not giving away any Bitcoin. Sorry about the sorry about the scam comments over there on Facebook. Let me see if I can. Oh, okay, here we go. Let me try editing the video and not allowing. Oh my God, Meta, stop giving me Facebook tips. I understand that I clearly don't know how to use let's see here, comments, and oh, okay. So let's do there we go. Let's try that. Only pages you follow will be able to comment. Only your followers will be able to comment. Let's try that. I'll tell you what, I really... There we go. We'll see if that stops it. The other thing I can do is not allow comments at all. Wow, it won't let me block comments. Okay, I guess that would change it. Only pages that I follow. Because I don't think I follow anybody. Okay, sorry about that, guys. A little bit of stream maintenance there. My people I follow is Gainsey over on Twitter. Anywho's. All right, let's take some time and go back through the chat. Insert Chris Henshaw. Insert this is fine, Meatmere. Yeah. Tom Hardy, good to see you, my friend. Sneaks1238, Justin, great to catch you live, brother. I took short this morning, 9 Central Eastern on Ethereum, took good profit at 29.30. I feel the FOMO that it will go down more, but the market is quite choppy at the moment. Not good trade, man. That's awesome. Rhino TD, shout outs to you, my friend. Cheesy Business H20. Alex81SG says, good point on automation. I manually took a bunch of the SDDMA longs yesterday and got killed, and today did not take any of the shorts because I was away, and they'd have all been winners. Yeah. So you can, I'm pretty sure that on 3 commas, if you go on Bybit and you disable hedge mode on your BTC USD on the USDT pairs, or you have to do it, it's for every market, right? So you go to BTC USDT, the USDT margined perpetual contract, and you click on the very far right of the screen. There's a gear icon. You click the settings icon, and the first option will be hedge mode, and you can switch that to one-way mode. There's hedge mode and one-way mode. Now, I like hedge mode because it means oh, loud background noise when it picks up sound. Oh, wow. Okay. It must be my air purifier. I will make some. Yeah, I just moved everything around today. I'll get it all kind of straightened out over the next few days. Now, I like hedge mode on the USDT contracts because it means I can be long and short simultaneously, right? So, for example, I can, like, let's say I'm trading a range, right? I can get long at the bottom. I can get short at the top. Instead of closing my long position, that way I've got my long on in case price breaks out and price keeps going, or let's say it goes a little bit higher. I can short the top, and then basically I can just keep adding to my position as price chops around, and then whenever price actually breaks one way or the other, I'll close the losing leg of my trade, and then I can then add to my breakout position on a pullback, or just take the profits. But the nice thing about that is that that's essentially, you'll always be buying the bottom and selling the top, assuming price is trading in a range. So yeah, you can automate the super duper DEMA strategy through 3 commas. I've designed it to be that way, but you have to disable hedge mode. Blue Box Territory says, can you code into time transformation at what price the close needs to be to cross over? Could be a nice edge to have. Let's see here. Can you code into time transformation at what price the close needs to be to cross over? Be a nice edge to have. I don't. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more? JMY says, nowadays trading Bitcoin is like playing poker. I'd rather play crypto NFT games like Thetan Arena and Kitty Cart instead. Well, I listen, I do have a holdings in DeFi Kingdom, and probably my newest position that I'm going to pick up is going to be Krobata. I'm going to provide liquidity to the Krobata elk pair, and stake the elk and farm the elk as well. Mr. T says, why does everyone have their panties in a bundle? We just filled the obvious CME gap we needed to. Well, let's take a look at the CME chart. All right, yeah, you've got a good point. Nice CME gap filled right here. You know, the only thing, and I know like so CME gaps have been pretty good, but like, what about this gap, you know? Right? Like the market filled it and then kept going. And then what about this gap? Right? Market went up, pushed back down, broke it, acted as support. But listen, I want price to go up. You know what I mean? I hold my wealth in Bitcoin, so. Here's hoping it does. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. I eat noodles for a day. I've eaten noodles for many days. If Bitcoin goes below 30,000, we're going to be eating noodles for a lot of days. He says, how much lower do you think we can go? Well, you know, going back to the weekly time frame, right? Like in the long run, history would repeat itself if we corrected down ultimately at around $20,000, 20 to $25,000. Again, forecasting out that far is very difficult, but that would be Bitcoin repeating what it's done historically. When we reach cycle highs and we correct down to the 55, bounce, correct down to the 100, bounce, correct down to ultimately the 200 weekly simple moving average, which is where we've seen the greatest amount of support. So much support, in fact, that there's a lot of websites dedicated to how important the 200 weekly moving average is. But as far as this movement right here, okay. So two things can happen when we enter into low volume nodes. Okay. Now typically you won't see this on like 3 hour time frames, but like look, you can see it here, right? So do you see this large protrusion of volume right here. So this is volume by price, meaning that a lot of volume was traded here by price. And if we look above and below here, we can see that there's very little volume that's actually been traded here. So what can happen in areas of low volume or low liquidity is stop loss hunts or market reversals, right? And we can see that. So here is, let's draw a box. So look what happens every time price goes above in this range that we're trading. And look what happens every time price goes above, right? It goes up, it's an extreme movement, and then it corrects ultimately, right? So we could see that here, right? So here we are, basically below that volume node, where price corrects and then ultimately goes the other way. Now, the nice thing is that typically it tends to move very fast, right? Because the other strategy here too is that price has moved out of the range and it is likely to move through this low volume node very quickly, right? That's why I don't like to trade the breakdowns. I like to trade the pullbacks and then get short here. So again, around 41,500 here. It looks like 41,800 on the lower time frames where we have a little bit more granularity. So but if we don't get acceptance back into the range, right? So if we don't move up from here, pretty much roughly like right here, I would say, give or take, and get back up above 41,300, 41,200, then if we reject from there or continue down, then likely this gap is going to fill, right? We've got support around 39, starting at around 39,000 and kind of 38,500. And it looks like price wants to move down, so we'll see. So there we go. Let's go take a look at open interest and see. Actually got a big spike in open interest right there. That's interesting. Oh no, okay. So we had a big spike in open interest right here, okay? And funding is positive. It's barely positive, but it's positive, okay? Yeah, this is a movement. This is a long right here. This is an easy long. So we had a big rise in open interest right here, meaning longs, which are more at risk than shorts, put on a lot of positions here. And then we can see that they just got smoked. You see that big drop in open interest right there? That's longs getting smoked on that movement right there. So yeah, I think that was probably the bottom. We'll see. I've been wrong before. Hit him with the ban hammer, Chris Henshaw says. Christian Zeladon says, Justin, I think the buttcorn will do the upward liquidation spike and then continue the drop like it usually does. Let's see here. TCT Rugby says we're going down. Sneaks123 says, Justin, don't you think we're going down to 38K before seeing reversal as you were saying yesterday? Oof, I was wrong. Let's see here. Order book starting to go absolutely nuts. You guys can see that order book going absolutely crazy. Yeah, big drop in open interest right here. A lot of liquidations. So we were at 798 million. Down to 783 million. As a 2% drop in open interest. That is crazy. Sorry, Sneaks. You know, listen, that so 38K. No, I mean, per my strategy. So on the daily, so let's, you know, I run multiple strategies. So let's 38K. Right here at about 40,000, you can see we're at the baseline, right? So if we hold this level, then that's a reversal baseline bounce on the daily time frame for me, and I'm going to trade to the upside. If we close below 40,000, I'm going to be biased to the short side. Yep, I am already long. I'm long in drawdown right now, but I am long. What's my entry price here? Right here. 41,084. So I got in on this area right here. All right, Blue Box, you were talking about the weekly time transformation. I was just curious if you could forecast what price the weekly close would need. Oh, what price it would have to be for the weekly close for it to cross over. That's a good question. Shoot, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's deeper math than I'm qualified for, honestly. Yeah, I did create it, but let's see here. Mr. Robert says mine was mac and cheese, not noodles. Yeah, you rich motherfucker. You can afford cheese? If you can afford cheese when Bitcoin's going down, man, You start taking some lessons from you. And we're over here using like quarter seasoning packets, dude. Okay, TCT Rugby says, what does the spike in open interest mean? It was 8.7 million liquidation. Yeah. So open interest is a very powerful tool. Open interest, I mean, I know a lot of traders who just trade off open interest and order flow, which is something that I do. I look at open interest for entries as well. But honestly, I tend to have good results just using time transformation and my ISA spot right here. And when I'm looking at the 5-minute chart, I mean, I've traded Bitcoin for so long, I just have a good, I hate to say this, right? But I'm a pretty good discretionary trader on Bitcoin. But open interest is really powerful. Bennett's got a lot of videos on this, and he could but Bennett's very knowledgeable, but sometimes sometimes I think his videos are hard for beginners. Like, you have to understand a lot of concepts. I think he just talks at a very high level. He's a very smart dude. But open interest is just essentially how many positions are open, right? How many active contracts there are for the market that we're trading, right? So in this case, there are 784.269 million contracts open for BTC USDT. All right. Actually, this is BTC USD. I don't know why I'm on BTC USD. Sorry. It's been like that the whole time. Okay. There we go. Bybit BTC USDT and Bybit BTC USDT. There we go. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you. Yeah, huge drop in open. Okay, so and kind of one of the telltale signs that you can use. There's a lot of ways you can use open interest, right? Open interest is it's a measure of how much. It just lets you know how many positions are actually being put on, right? It lets you know. So if you open up a trade, open interest will go up, right? If you close a trade, open interest will go down, right? So if a lot of trades are being closed out quickly, it usually means liquidations, right? Or stop losses getting hit. And what usually happens when stop losses get hit and liquidations happen, the market moves the other way. What happens when a lot of people add to positions or when open interest is rising? So if people are continuing to add to their positions as open interest rises, it likely means that we're not at the top or bottom. So if you see the basic rule of thumb is if you see price rising and open interest rising, that's a strong trend. You should go long. If you see price falling and open interest rising, that's a strong trend. You should go short. If you see price rising and open interest falling, that's a weak trend or a sign of a weakening trend. You should look to close out your position, your long trade, and you should potentially maybe look to go short. And if you see price falling and open interest, sorry, I think I said it incorrect before. Open interest rising in the direction of the trend, strong, right? So price falling, open interest rising, short, price rising, open interest rising, long, price rising, open interest falling, close out your position, maybe look for a short, price falling, open interest rising, or excuse me, price falling, open interest falling. It's getting weak. You should close out your position and look to get long. All right. So that's helpful. I usually don't use open interest like that. I usually just use open interest for quick changes in open interest. For example, right? Let's look at let's say like we thought maybe this was the bottom. Okay. And it could be, look, like, price trades below lows right here. Okay. Price trades below lows. And we do see a drop in open interest, right? You can see from here to here, there is a drop, quite a bit of open interest, but you see the market doesn't really bottom here. It just moves up a little bit. So this is a nice scalp trade. Yeah. Market moves up about 0.5%. When I'm scalping, I usually use about a 0.5% profit target. But here, where I think we might actually experience a more significant bottom, we can just see you see this massive drop in open interest just across like 3 minutes. That is a huge liquidation, right? A huge liquidation. Yeah. And I always correlate the rises and the drops in open interest with funding, right? So if funding is positive, that means that the market is mostly long. Of course, there's one long to one short, but it doesn't mean that everyone's leveraged the same, right? It doesn't mean there's an equal amount of long and short traders. So when funding is positive, there's more long traders. They're using more leverage than the shorts. And that means when a lot of positions get closed out, it's longs, right? It's longs and shorts, but that's more significant when funding is positive. It's the opposite when funding is negative, right? So you can use these as pretty good entry points, right? So open interest dropped, and we'll see here. I don't want this to be like the third time I said like that's the bottom, and then it just keeps dipping, which I don't think I did. I didn't say either of this was the bottom. I just said that like 5 minutes ago, and we're still right here. So we'll see. So I need price to move about 1% up for me to break even. I just got in a little too early. I got in on this accumulation area. Crypto Caveman, good to see you, my brother. He says, Mr. Wise, the one and only sup, man. Good to see you. Yeah, are you hedge-hogged up? Smash the motherfucking likes. So I've got about, it was a little less. It was 50%. I was stablecoined up about 50%. I did make some allocations the other evening. And I'm going to make some more allocations here into Krabata, which is going to suck watching that equity go down, but I want to get into those positions, right? Mr. T says, what's interesting is if you go to the weekly time frame and draw a parallel channel, we are in a perfect parallel channel. Bottom trend line of channel also lines up perfectly with the 2019 14K top. They used to have a really nice parallel channel tool. Here we go. Not sure what we're parallel channeling here. Take it that was not the bottom. And the dip keeps dipping. Another big drop in open interest, but definitely not like before. It's still updating. Yeah, that order book's fuck crazy right now. All right, so we did not get that retracement back. We just got, it's doing the death spiral. Crikey, it's doing the bloody death spiral. Stair steps up, escalator down. Yep, that's how the markets work, man. BTC on the weekly time frame. Parallel channel shows bottom was perfect at like 32,800 or whatever it was. Mr. A. Hey, Justin, can you explain an open interest metric to me? ELI5. Hopefully I did a pretty good job there. Well, we're getting pretty close. Mr. T says trade off open interest and longs versus shorts. Look for divergence on short time frames like 15-second candles. You'll get like 3 to 4 great trades a day. Hell yeah. Crypto Caveman. Much love from Communist Canada. Strange thing in this case right now, it was only one huge trade getting liquidated for 8.7 million. Yeah. What kind of time frame is open interest recommended? 4 minutes or hours? You can. I can't. I fucking love you, dude. 70% of world's Bitcoin is held in that safe in the background. That's just where we keep the firearms, man. Shout outs to Don Camden, man. So you can look at open interest on like the hourly. You can really look at it on any time frame. So we can switch here to like the daily. Okay. And you can see massive liquidations on this candle. You can see open interest. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure how useful this is. Again, a lot of positions being put on here, but there's no clear delineation like from long to short. Ideally, you'd like to see open interest like rise and then just continue to rise, but it's pretty good on the hourly for trend strength. Okay. All right. So you can see that drops in open interest are often correlated with market reversals, especially quick drops. So here on the hourly, we've got very quick drop right here. Market continues moving up. Here, we've got people trying to short, and we have a quick rise up right here, and open interest drops, and the market reverses. Okay. And starting here, we've got a pretty quick drop in open interest. So we'll see. Shout outs should be more like shots fired. No, I love Don, dude. He's funny, dude. Don makes me laugh. But, you know, most of the people I know who use open interest, like day to day, are using it on the lower time frames. When the phone makes liquidation noises. No, it's my computer. You can, you know, I loved it because you can finally enable those noises on Bybit. You just have to enable notifications and Bob's your uncle. So finally, so this is interesting. Like a lot of volume here, a lot of pain. Like a lot of traders closing out positions right here. You can see from the volume spikes and the drop, the big drops in open interest. So we'll see. My plan with my short was to get until 39,500 as dream. So I do have, so my 3-hour strategy does have me short right here. Daily time frame, we need to hold this level to look for a reversal baseline bounce and to take price to the upside. So oh, dude, this is, you know what? This is ridiculous, man. B-Flow says, I asked you if the 3-hour long still had legs in it, and I lied to you. I'm sorry, man. So is there good support at 40,000 BTC, or is it about to crash to 29,000? Listen. I gotta get rid of this. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. This doesn't look great. Okay. I don't like that hammer doji. Okay. It's actually a Morningstar doji, but an inverted hammer. Okay. You know, we can see buyers here on the weekly time frame tried to push price up and they got rejected, right? Rejected by the 55, which was previous support, flipped resistance. Okay. On the longest time, again, forecasting out that long is difficult, but I'm still 50-50 with it. But we got to be prepared for whatever happens, right? So if Bitcoin repeats its pattern, then eventually it will correct down here to about $20,000. Should be the value zone. We've seen it do that for the last 7 years, right? After we reach a cycle high, correct down to the 55, bounce, correct down to the 100, bounce, correct down to the 200, consolidate maybe, and the length of consolidation is directly attributable to the size of the rally that follows. All right. Hey Jose, good to see you, man. Jose Alves in the building. Daily time frame. All right, we had some continuation signals. Price pulled back. We had a couple decent trades. Price pulled back. We've got our last opportunity for reversal baseline bounce right here if Bitcoin holds this area. I am long 3 hours, so I'm long and short, right? So the 3-hour strategy got me long here, boom, and I picked up longs right here. So I'm gonna draw down on those at the moment. I'm seeing a nice little bounce from Bitcoin right now, so. I think, let's go look at what trades are we in? Let's see here. Yeah, we shorted BNB, shorted Loopring, shorted ICP, shorted Decentraland, shorted Shiba Inu, shorted Solana, shorted SHIB, shorted Engine. Close the 3-hour long, close the 3-hour short. Let's go look in the Discord. Yeah, I agree with, overall I agree with that, Mr. T, that we need to stay above $40,000. It's a psychological level. I'm going to go look in the Discord and see how our trades have done right now. So we had 4 losing trades from the buy signals, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11 winning short signals. So 4 losers. I say 11. 4 losers, 11 winners. Not bad. Let's see here. Bottom feeder bot. Last. Here, let me show you guys. Yeah, so bottom feeder bot, the last 4 trades, 16%, 15.23%, 11.33%, 10.98%. And did we just get a signal? No, that was the 12th on IOST. And here we have, these all today? I think these are all today. Let's see here. Yeah, so starting today, we have 1, 2, 3 signals. First winner, second winner, third winner, fourth winner, fifth winner, sixth winner, 7 winner, 8 winner, 9 winner, 10 winners, 10 winners today. 10 winning trades today from the Super Duper Dema strategy, guys. 10 winning trades. Loop ring, ICP. For those of you guys who aren't in the group, this is how automated signals are posted. Boom. You get alerted to them. Just subscribe to the signal alert. Get the ticker, the entry, the risk to take, stop loss, take profit. Okay. Do you need to disable hedge mode for every single pair for it to allow you to automate it on 3 commas? Yep. Yes, you do. Yes. Every pair that you want to trade. Mr. T says, does that Bybit bot sell all the TPs? Yeah, yes. Yep. Yes, it does. Road to 41. Next 3 minutes. As we close a gravestone doji. What's going on? What's going on, Bob the Builder? He says, what's going on with this late afternoon streaming, my brother? Saw you were live and I thought there's no way. Yeah, it was a weird morning, man. No, it wasn't a weird morning. I spent most of the morning like this. I got a different setup now. I reorganized my room. I bought a $1,400 monitor. It's supposed to increase productivity. We'll see. I've been wanting to get one for a while. And then, yeah, because I reorganized everything, I had to reset everything up, and now I can do this. So this isn't too bad. Oh, Don Camden. What kind of monitor? I bought this monitor right here. $49-inch Odyssey G9 gaming monitor. This thing it's pretty big, but you know, I've wanted to get one of the monitor, like, you know, one of those big curved monitors for a while. Yeah, so this is what it would look like. Although that's, I get a better picture of it. Yeah, the freaking thing's huge. But like when I rearranged everything here, like I either now have to buy new monitor mounts, because previously, I don't know if you guys know this, but like like being a streamer and setting up your office so that you can stream is not always like convenient, right? So I used to always have like a screen at the corner of my desk, and then a screen over here, and then maybe one up here, so that I could have the direct line of the camera for the DSLR. And now, as you guys can see, we've got the camera over here for the side shot. You know what I mean? But this is just, this is better for me, you know, because I've got 3 monitors, and these monitors on the sides are farther away, and it's just not, so one nice monitor. It's been, yeah, it's a great way to track losses. Yeah, man. You guys are great. Let's see, how long have we been streaming? About an hour and a half. Not bad. All right. A sideways order flow right now. Four-hour stream, just like the Bitcoin halvening stream. Yeah, man. That was a good one. Sometimes you have to eat ramen instead of mac and cheese to get what you want. Yeah, dude, I told you, man. If you guys can afford, if you can afford cheese for your noodles, I mean, you don't know about hard times. Like I said, we're rationing seasoning packets. Bear market support group. All right, I'm gonna flip on some tunes. Ooh, that's too much. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to get the music on, and I will be right back. Okay. All right, all right. Fun's over. What's up, guys? We're back. Thank you for sticking in there. Everybody who stuck in there. And everybody who bailed. Well. Stop fucking B-Flow, dude. Okay, let's see here. Craft. Not real. Sad but true. 19 years old. Craft mac and cheese for 2+ weeks. Yeah, I've absolutely been there, man. What's up, Dr. Domingo? Good to see you in the chat. Don Cannon says, Justin, do you find a 49-inch screen too big, like too much head swivel, and wished I bought a bit smaller, or is it a perfect size? I don't have it yet. So I bought the monitor, but it won't be available until the 26th. I could have got it on Monday, but yeah, so I've got to wait. I've got to wait a whole week for it. B-Flow, did I have to pump it out the well? Well, excuse me for taking a break, sir. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that, brother. Okay, let's see. What did I miss? Not too much. Seems like we had a little bit of a pullback here. Nice push up. So Bitcoin is back into a volume value range. We've got the deviation from the range right here. So we've had a nice little bounce in BTC's price. Looking at my P&L, I'm no longer poor. So these are good things. I think we want to probably add time transformation here to the 3-hour chart. And we'll check in here. So, excuse me. Yeah, so 3 hour, we're still short on the 3-hour system here. The super duper demon strategy. We've had a max profit potential of about 4.5% there. And we are oversold on the time transformation. So we are looking for a bounce here. And again, we talked about this. The strategy here can be, let's zoom out here a little bit on the 3-hour so we can get more granular. All right, so the strategy could be if price retraces up here to 41,400, 3-hour time frame, we could start looking for shorts between 41,400 and 41,800. Expecting price to pierce, travel all the way through this gap, and settle around 38,000. Upper 38,000s, but it's possible that we go a little bit lower. Daily time frame, we're right in the middle. Okay, so we're not overbought or oversold. We're at median price right now. We can see here we're at the point of control, essentially a little bit below the point of control on the daily time frame. So we want to see a bounce from here. Otherwise, we're likely going to, yeah, so that's right in line with the 3-hour here. We can see that we're deviating a bit out of the value area right here. We're going to look at this as a reversal opportunity, especially since we have a reversal baseline bounce setup right here. Prices come back down to the baseline. Take price up higher. Again, still looking at those daily targets of 42,892, 4,500, and 47,106. Okay. We close below the daily baseline, we're going to be short biased. So, and on the 5-minute time frame, we can see that. We can see those two possibilities play out here. We've got resistance right here in the form of the 50 exponential moving average. And also we can see here, this is the previous consolidation zone. So there was a lot of buying there. My current thesis is that this is an overreaction, oversold area of the market. So what we want to see is price reclaim right here, 41,000, 4,100, and then push up to the next area of resistance. Again, that 41,400 to 41,800. Does seem to be a gap here on the 5-minute time frame that we can't see very well. That's more granular here. So it does look like we will travel up to that 41,800. And then if you're short biased, again, as I talked about on the 3-hour time frame, you can look at that as your reentry area for the short or your take profit area for the long. I would still take the daily long regardless, and then just have a tighter invalidation level for your shorter time frame short. So that could either look like price pulling back and establishing that 41,800 or 42,000 as support, or you just set your stop loss according to the time frame you're trading on, and take the L, because you'll be winning from the long here, and you'll be winning from the long here, and you'll have won from your 3-hour short. So worst case scenario, price does the 3-hour pullback, you reposition into a short, you take some profit, but I would not be too eager to put on daily shorts here, as long as we remain above that daily baseline. Will Gaffort says, how can I tell it will retrace to the 40 to 43s? I can't tell. I can't tell what it will do. I just know what I will do if it happens. That's all trading is. The market is inherently random. At any moment, any large buyer or seller could step in and absolutely push price somewhere that I don't expect. But knowing where areas of resistance are from discretion is very important in just establishing a game plan. And then when price gets to those levels, you execute on that game plan. And then to have my back in case I'm wrong, which I can be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I'm right a lot, but I'm wrong a lot. We've got automated strategies to take the guesswork out of it. So we make good, consistent profit on our automated strategies or on our systematic strategies. And to improve our skills as traders and to help grow our knowledge of the markets and to improve our ability to then create more automated strategies, we trade. So when I'm looking at, I don't think I mentioned 43, but when I'm looking at where price is likely to go, well, here on the 3-hour time frame, let's zoom out here a little bit. Okay. Okay. We have a value area right here. This is identified by this large high volume node. And we are now trading outside of that value area. So two things are going to happen here. Price is going to pull back. It pulls back here to the bottom of that range, which here on the 3 hours, I'm at 41,400. And we reject from there, then I'm going to be looking for price to move all the way down here through this low volume node to the next high volume node. Price could just keep plummeting, and that'll be fine because I'm already in my 3-hour super deep and short, and I'll just take a loss on my lower time frame entry here. I actually am still in drawdown because I got long right here. Price pulled down a little bit. I'm still holding my position. And so here on the 5-minute time frame, I can see what price really needs to do to get more bullish. First off, we need to break this resistance. We can see that resistance right here, this high volume node. So likely to reject from there once or twice. That's fine. But what we want to see is price reclaim that and then push up here. Right here, 41,400, 41,800. Again, it does seem like here on the 5-minute time frame, we are going to shoot through that up to that 41,800. So 41,400, 41,800. It's a wide range, but it's an area where we can start looking. If you're on the lower time frames, you can look for rejections. You can look for overbought. You can look for sudden drops in open interest. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a climb in open interest. Looks like open interest has risen from about 19.745 thousand to about 19.89 thousand. Mr. T says, how consistent are those Bybit signals, brother? 10 in a row is nice. Yes, 10 in a row is nice. Let's actually go look. We track everything at results.crackencryptocurrency.com. Actually, you can see it right up there right now. So let me just pull up. So our Bybit short only bot. Just a second here. All right. All right, that should fix it. All right, so our Bybit short only bot's been running. Here, let me show this. Okay, this is the trading journal. All of our members get this as well. We also got it linked up to our automated strategies, but we started the bot with $10,000 and our first trade was on December 15th. It's been about 2 months and it is up $4,777.21. So 47.77% ROI. Let's see here. And then our long only bot, it's only up 2.79%, which isn't too difficult to understand. Like, we've had this long only bot running since December and pretty much the market's known nothing but downside, so only up 2.79%, which is still a market alpha of 8.74%, so still beat the market. Pretty sweet. Our worst strategy made money. Let's see. So those are on Bybit alt pairs. Let's look at, for example, our Ethereum short only bot is at break even. So that's good to see. After 2 months, might want to reevaluate that. And interesting. Javier Trevino says, my problem isn't when to sell, but when to buy back in. Yeah, Mr. T, I'd love to have you, man. We got a lot of good guys in there. It's a great Discord. It's a TradingView strategy. and you can automate it utilizing 3 commas. But you can set alerts. You can. We've got a full tutorial on how to set alerts. So if you want to just do them manually, you can set alerts for. You'll use our bot spam channel, and you can subscribe. So we've got the super duper DEMA strategy, and we've got the bottom feeder automated strategy right now, and we've got the channels for the super duper DEMA strategy. So we've got Bitcoin long only, Bitcoin short only. We've got Ethereum long only, Ethereum short only. And we've got Bybit alts long only, Bybit alts short only. So you can either set individual alerts for each channel, or you can just subscribe to all super duper DEMA strategy alerts. You can also subscribe to all bottom feeder alerts, for example. And then there's my trades that go in there, and the other analysts' trades as well. Right now, we're almost done with the VWAP double bounce strategy. So that's going to be our scalping. It's going to be one of our scalping strategies on the lower time frames for Bitcoin. And we'll do that for Ethereum as well. Before we move into the altcoins as well, I like to see that they work well on Bitcoin and Ethereum before I apply them to other altcoins. Although, sometimes you can find profitable strategies on altcoins that you won't find on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we're in the process of automating our daily time frame strategies as well. Right now, I post those manually. So far, life is good. Have I seen the Joe Biden tweet? Regulation next week. All right, well, let's go to the tweet deck. Chunky Chungus. Yeah, I follow a lot of people on Twitter, man. All right, so I'll just Google search for it. I'm not seeing any tweets about Bitcoin. All right, so a lot of volume traded right here, which is good. I like to see that, establishing that new level of support. We've gone for about 2 hours, guys, so I'm probably gonna kill the stream here pretty soon. It's a little bit of programming I want to get done before the father duties begin. Sneaks got it at 40,610. Where's that Bitcoin meme? I really want that. It's this guy. Oh, here we go. That's not quite right. Very true. Very true. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, guys. Oh, 40,610. Oh, yeah, good. I mean, I hope. I got my entry price. I'm still in drawdown. I got in at this trade. I'm at 41,084. I probably should have doubled here, but I don't do that. I've gotten in so much trouble doubling, like just throughout my trading history. I don't do it anymore. So, I made about, what did we make yesterday? We made like $1,200 yesterday trading. And we're down 236 right now, plus the 502. But here, I'll scroll up. There we go. Maybe you can see that. No. Oh, I can just move it down. There we go. Plus the 500. We're down like 500 something on Luna, but we already took like 1,500 profit on the Luna. And then that little looks position. Good thing I didn't go into those. I was looking at like establishing that big looks position yesterday, and I'm glad I didn't. Corey LeBlanc says, just a quick question. Can you please look through dark crypto? I'm heavily invested in it. Thanks. It's like a tomb fork backed by Crow. Man, I have lost so much money on tomb forks. No, I've made quite a bit of money. I made like $16,000 the first day I did a tomb fork. Davy Jones locker, and then lost like 9,000 the next day, and then I made quite a bit of money on 2 ohm and 2 shares, and then lost money on 3 ohm and 3 shares when it dropped like 50%, now like 80%. But at the same time, overall my DeFi adventures have been very profitable. This is just it's just a tricky time, man. Like, because you got to establish positions, and there's no amount of inflationary rewards that you can get that will overcome falling price, right? This is what I've learned. Like, if price is relatively stable, okay, cool. But if price is overall dropping, I mean, there's not enough inflationary rewards they can give you that are going to cover your position. And but let's check it out. I've actually never heard of so let's okay, is this it? Yeah, dark with wrapped crow. What do you know? It's an inflationary token that's falling in price. Okay, so dark wrapped crypto, or dark to wrapped crow. Let's see here. Dark Crypto Protocol is the first algorithmic token pegged to Crow. Enabling the generation of dark tokens that run on the Kronos network. It involves an innovative solution that can adjust the stablecoin supply deterministically to move the price of the stablecoin in the direction of target price to bring programmability and interoperability. It is not pegged to a stablecoin, instead pegged to Crow. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a tomb fork on Chronos. No, I will not. 8 million locked. Pretty cool looking website. Yeah, this is a tomb fork. Yeah. Let's see what the Oh, this is pretty cool. I mean, this is a pretty nice looking one. This is a pretty nice looking tomb fork. I'm not gonna lie. So far. Dark Crow LP or Sky Crow LP, and you earn Sky. Okay, so the Genesis pool is over, I'm guessing. And there is, so let's see. Yeah, okay, so they do have epochs. But you get rewarded in dark in the boardroom. Okay. So there is inflationary pressure on dark, not just Sky. And then they've got the bond. Okay, they've got the bond room. And oh, they've got auto compounders. That's cool. And they've got staking for it. This is pretty cool. Oh, they've even got games. Wow, yeah, this is a pretty cool looking. This is a pretty cool tomb fork, man. Yeah. When did let's see here. When did this token launch? The 8th of January. See volume really coming in, but that's just because the price is lower. Like volume always goes up. All other things being equal, if the price is lower, like there's going to be more coins traded because this is measured in dollars, not or coins traded, excuse me, not dollars. So okay, so I'll tell you what I'll tell you the truth about tomb forks, right? I have made more money like just swing trading them than doing the whole thing, right? Buying LP, locking up, you get in permanent loss, right? Assuming your token goes up in value and you get all these rewards, you get in permanent loss. And my experience with tomb forks is that these things are just, I mean, they launch and then there's a big rally and then they drop and then there's a couple big pops and then they just kind of go sideways. So I'll give you an example, right? Here is here's one that I lost right here, Jones. Okay, I made a lot of money on this. I lost a lot of money on this. Okay. Yeah, basically right around. It must have been right around here. Yeah, the price just drops. We do have a nice pop on Jones. And then just sideways. Because there's inflationary pressure on it. Jones is printed, right? And then you've got D Jones. Here we go, D Jones. So I have typically made more money just swing trading these things. In like the 15-minute time frame, you know, just looking for dips, right? And waiting for big pops. Nice big huge run up on D Jones right here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That looked pretty cool, and okay, so not to like not make my point here, but I mean, look, like, you know, like I guess every dog has its day. You know what I mean? If you wait for these daily dips, 200% price movement in D Jones, so that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go look at Tomb or Tuom. All right, see, so this is usually what I've seen, like big rise, drop, pop, drop. And even like Tomb, right? Dropped initially, popped, dropped, big run up, drop. It's hard. It's going to be hard for this price to go up because there's inflationary pressure on Tomb. Now, the nice thing, I think, if the projects do it right, they stop. They stop, and I think it seemed like Dark Crypto kind of was doing this right with their farms, but with the boardroom, yeah, you get rewarded in dark, and you're going to sell that dark. Stake Sky to earn dark, right? It's better than. Okay, no, you can't earn dark. No, see, it's finished. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the Genesis pool where you could earn dark, and then they switch over to where the main pool, the main farm, it doesn't give you the base token anymore. I think that's the right way to do it. Lost 4,000 from Savannah Banana, but restaking the liquidity in Dark Auto. Slowly will make money back. So I'm telling you, man, just personal advice. I think these projects are pretty cool, and this actually might. And listen, you can do whatever you want with your money. But I have had more success. I lost money overall staking and doing the whole game, the game of the crypto. But just treating it like any other asset and just swing trading it, that's how I made money. But what do I know? I'm about to buy Krabata and provide LP to Elk Finance. You know what I mean? With Krabata Elk and earn Elk rewards. So. And Elk is an inflationary token, so you know what I mean. We'll see. Every dog has its day, man. You know, the nice thing about crypto is that crypto in general is incredibly forgiving. Like surviving a bear market is hard, but if you can just survive and your token has long-term viability, then you typically can get out at a profit. Okay, that's all I got for today, guys. That's pretty cool. Sneaks. Funny how the wrapped Ethereum I get from my looks staked is catching up to the total value of my looks. That's cool, dude. All right, guys, that's about it for today. Let's switch over to the cool scene for the outro. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. As always, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. I really appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream. We talked about a whole lot today. We laughed, we cried, we lost some money so far. We are in drawdown, but we're also in profit. So, you know, these things go back and forth. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and/or death threats, please, over on YouTube, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. Tweet at me on Twitter at cracking_crypto, and join the Discord, discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you guys would like to trade on the exchange that I trade on and not pay the fees over at BitMEX or pretty much any other exchange, highly recommend you guys trade on Bybit. It does support the channel too. If you sign up, you get a discount on trading fees as well as a sign-on bonus, and they have like a crazy sign-on bonus right now, but I'm not trying to push that. But the link's down in the description if you guys would like to sign up for a real exchange, bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And if you guys are interested in learning how to trade in the Pathways to Profit course, in which we teach you how to build a technical indicator-based algorithmic strategy from the ground up so that you never have to rely on guesswork or discretion again. All of that, including our premium indicator suite, including over 10 premium indicators and strategies, as well as all of our buy and sell alerts, not only from my personal trades and our team of analyst trades, but also from our algorithmic and automated strategies as well. You guys can find all that information at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All the information on the website at crackingcryptocurrency.com. We will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I will try to be on time tomorrow. I apologize for the delay today. Wanted to get the new room all set up, and it is all now set up. So we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully you guys trade safely and have a great evening. Bye.